One of the units that we have been doing in collaboration with the Sitka Tribe of Alaska is watershed or hydrology. And last year, about this time, it was the first time we had ever done it, and we took the students out to Indian River, and we were actually doing comparison study, comparing Indian River to Stargavin. So we were out, Indian River was our first field trip. We were all kind of standing around, getting an introduction to the river, and all the adults and managers were there telling the students, well, what are the main issues or impacts on Indian River? And in the awesome way that high schoolers have, and just putting it all out on the table right away, one of my girls said, well, what are you going to do about it?
So my name's Jen Hamblin, and I'm a natural resource specialist at the Sitka Tribe of Alaska. And a few months ago, we got a grant from the National Forest Foundation to host the Indian River Watershed Working Group. And it's a group of stakeholders from throughout Sitka. They get together once a month, and they share their plans, concerns, and what they'd like to see for the Indian River watershed right now and also in the future.
This place was surveyed in 1995, and it hasn't been surveyed until then. So that's what we're doing with the tribe, the Sitka Sound Science Center, and the Forest Service. Each group has some people here, and they're just telling us what it's about to do the pebble counts in the wood research, and how important the salmon is to Southeast.
So as a part of this grant, along with these meetings where everybody's getting together and sharing information, we're also collecting data on the river. And to help us do that, we've involved local students from all 3 high schools to help in that data collection process. So what the students are doing is they're going out there counting pebbles of different sizes in a pretty random way. That's a method that was developed many years ago and has been used by stream ecologists and resource managers over the decades. So it's the standard way to look at the size of rocks or substrate in the river and be able to compare that to other places and say, what can we say about habitat, especially about fish habitat, based on what kinds of rocks we're seeing.
The measurement of the rocks.
Yeah,
I didn't know that
that could affect something in such a big way.
Like these rocks just sit there and do nothing. It's plays a big role in subsistence in Alaska.
22.6.
Yesterday we were doing pebble counts, which was picking up randomly selected rocks and putting them in the database.
And also the students are looking at woody debris. And woody debris is important for pool formation, and pools are great for giving fish resting habitat when they're spawning, as well as rearing habitat after they're hatched and before they make it to the ocean. So wood itself can help hide the prey from their predators.
It's nice to know about the habitat of where they spawn and stuff.
Say it again, I can't hear you. What?
So what we're pretty much doing is we're taking the data that we get from this we're comparing it to the 1995 data.
And to see how different it is.
And we're going to see if we need to make any changes to the environment to make it more healthy for fish populations to spawn.
Right.
So I just thought that it had a water and fish inside. That's simple. But now that like these past days, I learned that it's a bigger thing. So like, it's not just about like water. It's about like the trees, the rocks, and everything.
Yeah, I thought that it was really cool that like we got to be a part of this. You guys are actually using the data that we found, not like just saying that you're doing it. Like, oh yeah, you did it. You're doing a good job, and then go back and do it yourself. We actually did it.
I feel that student involvement is important, as this is a chance for them to take ownership of their place and to be a part of making important decisions and contributing information to what's happening in their own community. And also they will take this experience with them forward, and they'll know a little bit more about resource management and what goes into this process, and they might decide they want to become a resource manager in the future. And whether they do or not, I think for me it's just great to have more people in the community who understand and who support this kind of work to help make sure that this place is a great place for all of us to come and enjoy nature. And if we like to hunt or fish, that there's still watershed and space and resources available to be able to do the things we love in Sitka.
Man, how do you feel about it here?
It was pretty cool because my parents told me like, oh, it's green and there's water, and now that I came here, like, it's true.
There's a lot more rocks than I thought there would be.
I just liked being out there, being a part of that. It made me feel like, you know, like part of the big picture. It made me feel important. Anybody else could have done this, but like we did it.
It's not rocket science, it's rock science. Oh.